Bro, I forgot that this was Warner Music. They're very strict non-copyright. I actually have a physical copy of this album, CD. I haven't really shown my CD collection. And I was really happy to watch them live back in 2013. And I only got the CD like, I don't know, 2020? During the pandemic even. During the lockdown. What you want? What you want? What you want? What you want? What you are is lonely. What you are. And I still like their hairstyle. No, their heartthrob era hairstyle. Meow meow meow. What the frick?
I have eyes on a hostile tank south of where you are.
I think that one works like a tome, so you can steer it. You can steer the tomes alright. I think this works in the same way by how it's described. I didn't see it. Oh yeah, yeah, you know. You see it, it locked into my, it followed my crosshair. So yeah, like a toe missile. I know, I'm sorry guys, I haven't opened the live chat. I think I'm gonna put my electric fan on too. It's running on solar power anyway. Might as well make the most of it. Let me put the live chat on. Anyway, I came across the content creator earlier today. And he mentioned he caters to um, you know, employed viewers, employed gamers. Not like kids. So I guess we have the same I wouldn't say target viewers for me. But I guess I don't know. I know I don't really care who watches my videos. Sometimes there are kids here, and if I know that you guys are young, I try to tell you what I did with my life, and I do tell you to study well, get a degree, so that you have many options in life. What the freak? How did that not hit him? I already pressed E. What the freak? Is this US versus US?
Spotted an enemy helicopter. Spotted. I got eyes on an enemy chopper. I got eyes on an enemy chopper. Enemy helicopter. Spotted. Enemy helicopter. I got eyes on an enemy chopper. Heads up, hostile soldier, due north of your location.
Frick.
Spotted an enemy chopper. I got eyes on an enemy chopper.
We have neutralized objective Echo. There's enemy helicopter operating east of your current position.
Chopper. Enemy chopper. Spotted enemy chopper. Enemy chopper spotted. Spotted enemy helicopter. Enemy helicopter spotted.
Objective Charlie has
Spotted a
been
hostile
neutralized.
jet. Hostile jet spotted. Enemy chopper spotted. Spotted enemy chopper. Spotted an enemy helicopter. Spotted enemy helicopter. Spotted enemy chopper. Spotted enemy helicopter.
Frick.
Enemy chopper spotted.
Objective Charlie has now been neutralized.
Listen up! Hostile helicopter! Stop where you are! Spotted enemy chopper! Spotted enemy helicopter! Just spotted enemy AA! Yeah, just spotted enemy AA!
No, I wish I were a scout,
Track objective!
but I can designate targets.
Has been neutralized.
Chopper spotted! Chopper spotted!
Taking fire, taking fire. Oh my god, it's Donald Duck. Yo, Donald Duck. Good job. It's an honor to serve alongside you, Donald Duck. How do you make that sound with your voice?
We have neutralized
Are you using a soundboard? Yeah, we're winning.
Objective Foxtrot has been neutralized. There's a hostile soldier west of your position! Objective Alpha has been neutralized.
What's a galo? Meow meow meow.
I spotted a hostile jet. I spotted a hostile jet.
Listen up! I've eyes on an enemy tank. Just rest of where you are.
I spotted an enemy chopper. I spotted an enemy helicopter. We gotta defend this objective. I got eyes on an enemy helicopter.
I think I heard footsteps. Meow 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 meow.
I spotted enemy vehicle. Enemy vehicle to the south of your current position. Objective Foxtrot has been neutralized. Austin, there appears to be an enemy AA south of your location.
Enemy helicopter spotted.
Ain't no infantry.
I got an enemy AA spotted. I spotted an enemy AA. Eyes on an enemy AA here. I need you to attack this objective. I got eyes on an enemy chopper.
We have neutralized objective Echo. Listen up! Enemy helicopter south of your current position.
Spotted an enemy chopper. Spotted an enemy helicopter.
Layo na pala, kaya may lapit na pala niya.
Spotted an enemy chopper. Spotted an enemy helicopter. I got eyes on an enemy.
Freaking hell. GG. GG.
There's a hostile helicopter north of your current position.
Man, I just wanna chill. It's like I don't wanna talk about I don't wanna talk about anything.
Great for me. But don't worry, OWI, I'd happily do some voiceover work. Just hit me up. Ignore your squad leader at all costs. He doesn't know what he's talking about. The MMG is a laser beam full auto marksman rifle you should absolutely run solo with. And always remember, Sniper is the best class in the game. There are also a few new weapons, most notably the M39 EMR for the USMC, this silenced M110 for the US Army, the AUG for the PMC, and the Mosin carbine for the insurgents. The USMC now also get the M27 as standard across most roles, and the MEA have an alternative to the G3 rifle that doesn't suck donkey wieners. Don't look at my arms, that's normal. Along with changes to the weapons, there were a long list of balance changes to specific faction groups, as well as a retune of the invasion game mode, where flags have been standardized and difficulty scaled to make capping flags seem less painful at the start, or to create an overall more gamified squad, pushing closer to balance over realism, teamwork, or immersion. Which for me, I think hits the sweet spot of a fun game. And this play session was honestly probably the most fun I've had in Vanilla Squad in a long time. Oh yeah, and there's a friends list now, prompting the hot alternative video title. Now,
You know, I cannot afford squad right now.
now is the perfect time to have friends. Unfortunately, no one has any of those. But that's okay, because if you're looking for friends, you'll want to hear from this video's sponsor, the Favela Gang Wars of Brazil. Do you like to travel, long to walk the sun-baked streets of Rio de Janeiro, have an affinity for balaclavas and weapons of the sideways holding variety? Look no further than the up-and-coming Slorg's Gang War event. That's right, I've started a gang war, and I'm looking for volunteers. The Squad Favela mod is a banger, but it has remained playable on just a single server, based halfway across the world and full of people who only speak Portuguese. When I approached the TBR events guy and told him I had his family hostage and he would have to host a 2-day event in this mod if he ever wanted to see them again, he was happy to oblige. So on the 14th and or 15th of December, join me and your fellow gangmates in a Brazilian gang war with English-speaking counterparts. Head on over to the TBR Discord server, link in the description, and sign up to get yourself a guaranteed spot on the server. And use my code SLORGSLOVESGANGWARS20 for 20% off your first mini Uzi purchase. That's the link in the description, and Slorg loves Gang Wars 20 for your way into the great squad gang shoot 'em up of 2024. Thanks for Favela Gang Wars of Brazil for sponsoring this video. Also thanks to any subscribers out there, we're almost at 50k, and it only took me 14 years. Now let's go and have some bloody fun in squad, eh? Look, Bray, the cat thinks he's dead. You have to mimic his body. Puppet him. Put your hand up his ass. Well, you get inside this building. There's someone in here? No, no one else has had this idea. Just me.
Oh, my man.
Okay, here we go. Time to finally put this weapon to the test. Marksman, how are you operating? Set to 200 now. I could probably go back to 100.
Lights on this main road.
Oh, very nice. I mean, this thing is cooking. There's no doubt about it. It is cooking. It's very important in squad to crouch while firing. Your weapon handles way better. I think we're pretty safe here. I've got a few friendlies around. I'm deep in the flag. Okay, he's up. Come on, peek it. Make the same mistake you just made. He was doing it. He's doing it. he's
Nice. I wish I were that good.
I got eyes on an enemy tank.
Heavy armor's been identified south of your location. Neutralize objective Echo.
I spotted an enemy helicopter. I spotted an enemy chopper. I got eyes on an enemy tank. I spotted an enemy tank. I spotted a hostile tank. Enemy tank spotted. Hostile tank spotted.
Boom!
Hostile tank spotted.
One more.
Spotted an enemy tank. Spotted a hostile tank. Spotted an enemy tank.
Boom! Tank destroyed.
Five eyes on an enemy tank. Soldiers, attack this objective. They're lighting up.
The frick? I wonder if I want this one. I wonder if these weapons can be equipped with a bipod. I don't think so. Oh, they can. Put me on the roof, bro. Put me on the roof of that big building. Put me on the roof of C, Charlie. Bro, put me on the roof.
Enemy missile inbound. I have eyes on an enemy AT soldier east of your location.
Put me on the roof, bro. Put me on the roof. Thanks.
Objective Alpha.
Got him.
Spotted a hostile soldier. Pick up your pants.
Sure thing. Objective Echo has been neutralized. Enemy helicopter has been spotted south of your current location.
Here's your ammo. Pick it up.
Spotted a hostile helicopter just west of your location. Heads up! Someone just got tagged as HVT. Spotted an enemy helicopter! Enemy helicopter just west of your location.
Hello.
Helicopter spotted.
Have eyes on a hostile helicopter.
Ah, got him. Yeah, I think I got a battle pack. I don't even have the M4 yet. Okay.
Here's your ammo. Go get it.
Objective Alpha is neutralized. Be advised. Spotted an enemy helicopter south of your current position.
No, I think I'm gonna find that. Oh,
There's a hostile AT soldier east of your position.
I think I wanna find that like a prison map so that I can grind my guns.
Enemy armor has been identified. Operator in chief.
Here's your ammo. Spotted a hostile tank. Spotted an enemy tank.
Alright, I have eyes on the hostile sniper south of your position. Objective Delta is now neutralized.
Spotted an enemy helicopter.
You have unlimited ammo anyway.
Hostile helicopter has been identified to your west.
Here's your ammo. Here's your ammo.
I really gotta find that server. What do you call that server? I think it was Banzor. And then oh, Operation Locker. Yeah, I remember it now. Operation Locker. I wonder what ping this is. It looks like a German server. The ping doesn't say. Hi, good morning.
Hey, I am your host. Welcome to the channel. Here in the video, we will share the details for the Battlefield 4 error code 0. The error reads failed to join server, an unknown error code 0.00. Before we proceed, I want to let you know that this is my AI avatar and some of the visuals in the video are also generated using AI. However, all the information shared has been manually researched by me. As per our research, the error comes when players try to join servers on PC, but the error prevents them from joining any servers. According to our research, the error may come because of network
Something's wrong with my
server-related problems, pending
my
game
avatar.
updates, or sometimes launching the game directly instead of through Steam. To deal with this error, the first thing we suggest is to restart your device along with the internet and try again. Once done, check if the error still comes. If the error still comes, then try switching to a different server and check for the error again. If the error still persists, then check if you have any pending updates for the game. If there are, install them and see if the error still comes. If the error still continues, then try opening the game through Steam, then check if this helps with the error. At last, if the error still persists, try connecting over a different Wi-Fi or mobile hotspot and see if this resolves the error. Thanks for watching. This is all we have for the error. If this video helped, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Have any questions or issues? Drop them in the comments below. Thank you.
Yes, I think my avatar is like the app is switching between the two front cameras. Freaking hell.
Pagtanghaling tapat ang init-init talaga sa garden. Buti na lang, na-check out ko na yung pinakamura
Maybe it's
sunshade
really
sa
finding it hard to detect me. Oh, I know this one. Today's gonna be the day, that's gonna be the day, that's gonna be the day. Let's play some Genshin Impact. Okay, how many multivitamin capsules do I have? 13. Anyway, so later I think I have a short training. You know, for my job. And I think the camera is gonna be on. So I cannot be naked. Lol. Bro. My avatar is really acting up. I know I played Dota 2 earlier and it was freaking nice. Sniper, then I got a lot of damage.
Gaming while employed is an experience every gamer will suffer.
Being an employed gamer is actually also awesome. Now, it does have a bunch of downsides like the original poster posted in his video, but I think there's a bunch of great things that come out of it too. For starters, if work is going bad and I hop on to like any online game lobby, there is nothing that could be said that gets to me. Because after you spend a rough day at work, something that actually pays your bills and affects your life, you realize that nothing in this online game really matters
Yeah, that's true.
at all. But on the flip side, when work is going really well, gaming feels so good. I compare it to that experience of spending the whole day at school when you're younger and being super excited to play games when you get back home. Being an employed gamer is low-key super underrated.
Gaming while employed is an experience every gamer will.
Man, I hate this freaking app. This was
Gentlemen, I
Nagal.
finally invented a tool that will help all of us that are having issues with the hairline or the five head. Look at how within a second this, I call it hairline cover, covers my hairline. Would you look at this? Boom. Within a second, just like that, I am and fashionable and showing the world that I'm an employed gamer. That's right. It took us a while, but we finally got actual good merch. This is a top quality dat cap, man. I'll fight anyone about it. Our community is full of receding hairlines, so it's only logical to have hairline covers be the merch of the employed gamer. You cover the hairline as you tell the world that you are employed. But if you look very closely, come. Do you see that? You're a gamer as well, but that shit is incognito. Technically, the
Damn.
Add as
I mean, I wouldn't really want to tell the world that I'm a freaking gamer. There's a lot of people who, say it's freaking useless. Oh well. No waste of time. No win fake achievements. But I don't care. Because the addiction is real. Gaming addiction. Man, I really wanna get like energy drinks later. I swear I'll be able to sleep anyway. If I couldn't sleep, it's okay. I don't have a schedule yet. Ain't nobody got time for that. Oh, another dendro. Meow, 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 meow. What to listen to? I don't know. Oh. I don't know. Well, yesterday I was listening to like a Japanese guy. And then, so what I learned yesterday is, they have difficulties in the TH sound all I can think. Just like me, actually, I have before I had a hard time pronouncing the TH sound like in thank you. I always like pronounce it like T. Thank you, or like D. Hey, danke. But over the past year, yeah, I got used to saying the TH sound. So, they also have difficulty saying the L sound, right?
You're in for a little shock. Come a little closer.
英語を勉強する上で一番難しいと思う部分は何ですか？
会話のフローを止めてしまうことがあるので申し訳ない気持ちになったりしますハグもされるしキスされるしおうし
What the frick?
まずはご自身の英語力を10点満点で評価したら何点になりますか
6点
かなり高めですね結構勉強してらっしゃるんですか？
勉強してます
2点ぐらいあんまり勉強してないから
ゼロだって喋れないし聞いても答えることができない理解できてない
周りにそう英語使う人いないし日本語で全部通じるから
6点
結構勉強してらっしゃるんですか？
英語の検定を受けたことがあってそれの2級は持ってます
5点ぐらい
5点かなまだ全然日常会話できないので5点
仕事とかでこう文章とか打つことあるんですけどあんまこうネイティブの英語をわーって聞き取れるかって言ったら難しいんで3点会話はでき
when...
Today's no good for going out. Did I say that yesterday as well?
4点単語だけ
How long have you been studying?
Nice to meet you.
What's your favorite sport? What's your favorite vegetable? It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
How long have you been studying English?
About 7 years.
And what methods do you use?
Huh?
What methods? How do you study?
In my case, I often listen this music, English.
What kind of music do you like?
Many genres. I often listen many genres.
Could you sing us a song?
No.
You're in for a little shock. Blitz.
Your English is very Georgian.
Let's get it on! Arigatou gozaimasu.
Hello, my name is Louis. I'm 16 years old. I like... Thank you.
What's your favorite team?
Paris Saint-Germain.
What's your favorite vegetable?
Hello, my name is Riko Iwanami. I like Japanese idol and music.
They really pronounce L as R.
You've been a naughty boy.
And then they said TH. TH sound what else?
Let's spark.
I haven't played Dark Tide in a while. Maybe I'm kind of getting bored na. Man, this is gonna take a while, like leveling Coley up. Like I don't wanna do it anymore. Shit. I mean, I'm not fully invested. You know, I only tried to level her like once, so I'm not invested to it. Not invested into it.
Let's get it on. You're in for a little shock.
I am 20 years old and I'm from Hyogo. Thank you.
How long have you been studying English?
I have studied English from 小学6年生の時から。
Come a little closer.
Hello, I'm Yuriko. I'm second year. 世界でってなんて言うんだろう。ちょっと難しいかも。ちょっとパスで。Hello, my name is Minako.
Hello.
Hello.
My name is Jack. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
What's your favorite sport?
Tennis. Nice
Do you play?
Yes.
一番よく知っている英単語を教えてもらえますか
I love you.
ありがとうございます。I love you too.
You've been a naughty boy.
It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. 聞いたことある。聞いたことある。
In the name of the warrior, I charge you to be brave.
You're in for a little shock.
I charge you to be just. In the name of the mother, I charge you to defend.
Do you use English at work?
No, not really.
And how long have you been studying?
Been studied like 6 years. I've been in uni in Australia. And then
Surrender and I'll be
I
gentle.
use English.
But you speak very well, and you've got an Australian accent.
Do I have?
Good eye, mate. What's your favorite food?
Food. 私の好きなものね、食べ物やね。ベジタブル。
Very healthy.
How do you?
英語のネイティブがプロポーズするときに使う英語、もし知ってれば友達に買ってもらえますか
Will you marry me ちゃん？え？
正解です。Will you marry me?
Will you marry me?
そして答えは
Yes.
おめでとうございます。彼女さんにロマンチックな英語かけ
Objection, Your Honor.
てもらえますか
I love you とかですか
返事お願いします。
I love you too.
もう素敵すぎ。学校でそういう上手になったのか、それとも独学でやってらっしゃいますか。
学校でも授業があったんですけど、塾に通っていて、そこで英語だけを勉強してたので、それで英語はずっと得意っていうのはあります。
英検取ってらっしゃったとおっしゃいましたけど、英検というものは知らない外国人のためにどういったものですか。
日本の人がリスニングとリーディング、ライティングっていう3つの問題のジャンルがあって、でそれを受けてトータルのスコア、合格のスコアまでいったらあなたはこれぐらい英語ができますっていうのを示すもので、将来それが就活に使えたりとか、そういう感じです。
もしかして外国人が取る日本語能力試験の英語バージョンみたいなものですか。
それです。
もちろん学校で勉強して自分が日本人なので日本人と会話するよりも自分と同じレベルか自分より上のレベルの英語の話者とやっぱり会話することが一番英語の伸びについてが全然違うと思いますね。
英語を勉強する上で一番難しいと思う部分は何ですか？
文法、日本語と全然違うからそもそもが難しいなっていう。
過去分、現在、過程完了とか、to 不定詞。
Oh yeah, we learned that yesterday from the dude. Did he say there are no like tenses? Oh, I saw this. I saw this on social media earlier. Looking for shoes.
綴りが長いのとか、一つの単語に対していろんな意味があるとかですね。
あとは発音どうですか？
発音ちょっと難しいですね。TH の普数とかが。
Yeah, see? Told you. TH.
ちょっと難しいかなと思います。
聞くことですかね。わからないことを聞くことって結構あると思うんですけど、それが難しいと思います。
特に言語的なものじゃなくて逆に聞くことですね。
そうですね。コミュニケーションとかでやっぱり会話が進みすぎてしまっている時に一回止めてまた自分で聞いてってするとやっぱり会話のフローを止めてしまうことがあるので、それがやっぱり難しいというか申し訳ない気持ちになったりします。
オーストラリアに住むことでそれが成長したんですか？
やっぱり分からないことは聞いていくべきだなっていう考え方になりましたね。何に対してもそうですけど仕事だってそうですし。
日本人がなんか自分から聞くのが難しいとか怖い人が多いと思いますか？
それはあると思います。やっぱり空気を読む文化なのでそこは
Man, you're freaking.
やっぱり難しいと思いますね。
それでオーストラリアによって新しい自分が日本に帰ってきたんですか？
多分誰でもあると思うんですけど違う言語を話すことによってやっぱり性格が違う自分の話してる性格がやっぱり日本語
And you know, I don't really wanna play Dark Tide because my PC is freaking struggling with it. It's not a good experience for me.
英語で話してる自分と英語で話してる自分って多分違うと思うのでやっぱり変わったなっていうところはありますけど根本はやっぱり変わってないので。
カンガルーと仲良くする秘訣は何ですか？
Just be gentle
関係代名詞なんか文の形の覚え方、英語の置き方、主語とかあれとか、あとシンプルに長い単語とかそういうのがむずいと
思います。文法ね。だって何やらイングとか変わっていくからだから中学生の英語でもついていかれない今、
発音かな。私らの中学校の時はもうこう下を巻いてこう発音しなさいとかそんな英語を教えてもらったから最初に苦手やなっていうのがあるから。
日本の英語力は EF 英語能力指数というのがあるんですけど2023年に112カ国中87位と低い水準になったんですけど日本人の皆さんが
That's not negative, man. And they may not be good at English, but they're really good at other things.
が年必ず
And their standard of living is higher than us.
学校で英語を勉強するのになぜそんなに低いと思いますか？
あまり自分から学びに行く姿勢がないからじゃないですかね。必要としてないと思います。
See, I really have the same rationale as that guy. He said, the TH sound, and he says that they don't really need to learn it. Yeah, I totally agree with that. They don't need to. I think there must be a reason for those people who will become my students. Maybe they need to communicate with people from abroad, with foreigners.
書くのとか読むのとかはやるけど話すのはあんまりやらない気がするのでそこですかね。
英語を学校で勉強するときはどういった勉強が多いですか？
単語帳読んだりとか、
暗記ベースが多い。
英語のネイティブに教えてもらうんですか、学校に。
そういう授業もあります。だから基本的にはまあ英語の日本人の先生が教えることが多いかもしれません。
そしてその日本人の先生がなんか長年海外に住んでたり、なんか
Hello. You're the one from Australia, right?
超高い英語のレベルですか？
いや、そういうことはないと思います。多分バリバリのジャパニーズ・イングリッシュで教えてることが多いと思います。
他の科目も結構大変で、やっぱりそこら辺頑張らないと留年とかあるんで、やっぱり英語集中でやるって言ったらちょっと難しいんかなみたいな。僕もそうだって。
海外行ったりしないからだと思います。
それには理由あると思いますか？
日本が最適すぎる。
Oh.
日本の性格が海外に合ってないかもしれない。日本は暗いし、
Pagtanghaling tapat ang init-init talaga sa garden. Buti na lang, na-check out ko na yung pinakamurang sunshade sa
って感じですけど、でも日本人がアメリカに行くとハグもされるし、キスされるし、うわーってなるからかな。
平均のアメリカ人の真似をしてもらえますか？
アメリカ人の
雰囲気です。
雰囲気。
ハロー、
What the frick?
My friend.
よー、What's up? みたいなこんな感じです。
めちゃくちゃ合ってます。まさにそういう感じ。
日本人にとって言えば失敗するの怖いっていうのがあるんで、だからネイティブの人とこうバンバン話してくるその最初の一歩の殻を破るのが難しいかもしれないです。経験を積むのが難しいかもしれないです。
やっぱり言い回しがどうやっていいか分からなくって、なんか文法とかを気にすると単語になっちゃって、文章で話せないのが難しいなって思います。
なるほど、それもあって、あとは治安のことをおっしゃったんですけど、なんか海外でみんななんか陽キャで治安もやばくて、それもなんか行くのが怖い気持ちありますか？
そうですね、ちょっと怖い土地だと
怖いですね。何されるか分からない。
一番怖いイメージの国ありますか？
やっぱアメリカ銃社会なんで、アメリカが一番怖いかなって思います。
そうですね、みんな銃を持ってて、なんか急に路上で
Man, there's kind of in the US. There's the gun culture. Anyway, gotta be serious on Counter-Strike. Outside, there's one market.
これ撃たれるのかなという心配あるんですか？
あります。やっぱり急に何されるか分からんから、アジア人やし、どんな差別とかで何されるか分からへん。
アジア人差別というんですね。それはなんかニュースで見たんですか
YouTube とか、なんか日本人が海外でカメラ回してる時とか、めっちゃ
チャイニーズみたいな
やろうって
そう言えるじゃん。ゴーバック言われる。
あとは薬物
は
が怖いかなありますね。
外国人が一番使ってる英語のワン口教えてください。
なんかあんま言っちゃダメそうなやつ。
全然大丈夫ですよ。このチャンネルでは何でも言えます。
でもいいです。オーシットとか、なんかファッキンピーとか。
なんかこんなんあるじゃないですか。とかシンプルにファックとかさ。
サンノバビーチみたいな。ジョジョのなんかいるのよ。そういうなんかそういうの。
Someone in JoJo says. No, I've never seen JoJo. See, I'm not interested. Bro, the bomb. Doesn't run on Mac. Really? Do you really wanna play this game? Got him! It's okay, I was running out of ammo anyway.
そうキャラクターでよくそういうの。
一番大事なオーストラリア英語教えてください。
Let's have a cuppa? I don't know.
This woman says she worked in Australia.
自分のハムスターがドラッグを使ってんのかなと悩んでいる視聴者さんに何かアドバイスありますか？
どういうこと？ハムスター？ハムスター？ドラッグ？ハムスターは何ですか？
病院、一旦病院に連れてって、どうするか言います。
違うところで暮らさせてあげる。
段階踏んでやめさせます。
ドラッグはやめときましょう。ダメです。頑張って。
異変に気づいてあげてください。
初めて聞いたケースじゃない？
Yeah, it's very neat to remember that just less than 2 years ago I was having difficulty with the TH sound. I always pronounce it as T or like D. Even the TH sound for the, not like the, not for think. I still pronounce it like D. I'm the best. Like a freaking orc. Like an orc from Warhammer.
ご自身のハムスターはドラッグをやっていないんですか？
いや、やってないです。
真面目なハムスターですね。
自分でご飯あげてるので。
検査とかってあるんかな、薬のなんかそういう。
検査するんです。
検査するか。検査してみたらっていうかもしれない。
もし陽性だったらどうしますか？
Maybe I can also mention that to my students.
隔離なんか薬から隔離させる。
監視？
ああ、そうかな。
一回発発はしてみて様子見るといいと思います。
Attention, all Japanese learners. Do you want to take your Japanese studies to the next level? Be sure to check out my Patreon page for access to Japanese subtitled versions of my videos. If you're a beginner, go ahead and click the YouTube closed captions button for kanji readings in hiragana. If you're an elite learner, Japanese reading skills that would shock the kimono for geisha experience. Not only that, but Japanese sub-content will be released on Patreon first, so you get early access. And if you really feel like splashing out, you can even request your very own video. If you're
Wow, that's a lot of money. I mean, that's already 2 Big Macs. Man, I'm really craving. I've been craving for, I don't know, many weeks now, whatever.
Tony from LSE Science is one of the biggest trash talkers in the world.
No, I'm just freaking watching brain rot.
In fact, influencers get scared if their video gets too viral. Tony might take a shot at them while promoting his legendary LED signs. They could have a blue checkmark with millions of followers.
I would like to be roasted by Tony. Or maybe you can say not interested. Or you can call me Bro, is that our Resi PFP?
or just really colorful hair. To Tony, that is just another reason to flex his newest signboards. While some creators get lucky and slip under Tony's radar, others are not so lucky, and Tony roasts them for the whole internet to see. From fancy doctors from Beverly Hills to activists screaming their lungs out. These are the arrogant American influencers that Tony has destroyed. Starting off with a TikToker named Lynn Watchhorn, who is famous for her outspoken videos on dating and gender roles. And when Lynn claimed that men these days don't give up their seats for women anymore, Tony gave her a hilarious reality check.
Anyways, here's how to tell if your sign is cheap.
But the next roast could have gotten anyone else cancelled, because Olivia Owens is a trans influencer with over 500,000 followers living with a genetic disorder known for confidently sharing her life and identity online. So when Tony decided to roast her just for saying hi,
Hello. Goodbye. Anyways, if you want to start a business on a budget, make sure you go to the Source Factory.
people thought it might not end up well for Tony, but they forgot that Tony can't be cancelled. Tony's roast got so famous that some people started stealing the same idea.
Hello. Goodbye. Anyways, are you a business owner?
The videos got so viral that people started giving Tony the same roast treatment he gave to other influencers.
Hello. Goodbye. Anyways, goodbye. Anyways.
But things were about to get even more bizarre, because when a non-binary transfemme gender-fluid content creator complained how they were misgendered at a pharmacy,
So I got served today at the pharmacy. Like, I'm not a man.
Yeah, thanks for dropping by. Night to you.
Tony went ahead and said what everyone else was too scared to say, and then casually explained how to spot a cheap LED sign.
So I got served today at the pharmacy, and
Sir, here's how to tell if your LED sign is cheap, sir.
But if that wasn't enough, when Bella Crumb, a queer influencer, tried to turn their child's simple question into a social commentary,
Little one asked me, Mommy, what's a girl? Mommy, what's a boy? What makes somebody a girl? What makes somebody a boy? Maybe I'm a they them. I have no idea.
Tony gave Bella an answer that probably cleared all her doubts.
If you have a penis, you're a boy. Anyways, here's how to tell if your sign is cheap.
But the next influencer kept appearing in Tony's videos over and over because of their totally absurd takes. Because when a trans influencer named Lily Contino with over 400,000 followers tried to get some extra attention by making some outlandish claims about Abraham Lincoln,
did you know that Abraham Lincoln was queer?
Tony didn't even need a punchline for that.
Anyways, these signs come with a 3 to 5 year warranty.
But that wasn't the only time Lily was featured in Tony's roasts. Because when Lily told their audience something which was deeply personal,
when I got my cake pops removed, I specifically asked my surgeon to leave the bag.
Tony was just as disgusted as everyone else who had to hear that.
Anyways, here's how to tell if your sign is cheap.
In another video, when Lily was complaining about how they were misgendered 3 times in the last 24 hours,
I have been misgendered 3 times in the past 24 hours.
Tony decided to up the count and make it an even 4.
Sir, don't worry, we got you, sir. Have you ever seen such a convenient LED sign?
But that wasn't the last time Tony interacted with Lily, because when Lily did a massive face reveal to her audience after undergoing the surgery, Tony completely humbled Lily by telling her what everyone else was thinking.
Yeah, still looking like a man.
After making Lily a laughing stock, Tony turned his attention to trans comedian Stacey K, who was proudly sharing their transition journey. And while most comments were supportive of Stacey, Tony had something else in mind.
What's up, homie? Hope you never change. Come check out our perfect marculator.
And if that wasn't enough, when non-binary author Jeffrey Mash mentioned that he has a message just for the kids, some people thought it was inappropriate, while others...
Yeah, man. I mean, you can be progressive towards adults and young adults, but I don't think it's very ethical to push progression to kids. Progressive ideas. They don't know what they want yet. Maybe let them have a normal life first. Yeah, nice night to you, man. When do you sleep?
Wait me. Yellow.
When do you go to sleep so late?
Others said that Jeffrey just wanted to share his knowledge, but in the middle of all that, Tony had some other plans for Jeffrey.
I want to talk to the kid.
New close-up, new intense flavor.
I mean, yeah, for me that's just unethical. For me, it's fine for adults and young adults, but for kids, no.
For fresh vibes.
Dessert! Tikman ang creaminess! Makinasal extra creamy halo-halo!
Nope. Anyways, if you want to order signs for your franchise store...
Next, Tony ran into a Las Vegas-based influencer with almost 250,000 followers named the Rainbow Teacher, who was wondering what people would think if they saw them as their teacher.
You walk into your new classroom to meet your teacher, and you see me.
And like always, Tony had the perfect comeback locked and loaded for them.
What's the first thing that comes to your mind?
I'm homeschooling. Anyways, if you want to order signs for your franchise store...
However, when TikToker David Ngo with almost 4 million followers was eating a rainbow lobster, he was really surprised by the taste.
Eating a rainbow lobster. This one's pregnant! Rainbow lobster eggs? It tastes a little zesty.
And when Tony saw that, he had some solid advice for David.
Quit that gay shit. Anyways, check out our new silly magnetic menu board.
But Tony isn't always as helpful, because when this next influencer was ranting about getting a mean comment on her social media,
people will say literally anything is masculine just to make a trans woman feel bad. Manly breath? Really?
Tony seemed to agree with the comment in a hilarious way.
Yeah, what the fuck? Anyways,
some people accuse Tony of being hateful, but in reality, he is just having fun and saying what is on his mind while also being Employee of the Year. Tony has found the most unique ways to sell his LED signs while also completely mocking these lazy influencers. Like this one time when LA-based actor Mallory Scheidel was telling her fans what men really need.
Men only want one thing, and it's not money, it's not power, it's not love.
So Tony couldn't resist taking the spotlight away and showcased one of the most beautiful LED signs.
It's not love.
It's LED sign from LC Sign. Anyway.
However, the influencers kept getting crazier and saying more and more absurd things. Because when a white TikToker named Ashley claimed that he was a proud black woman, the internet wasn't sure what to say.
I'm proud to be black. I am a black, beautiful American woman.
But staying true to himself, Tony was right on the point, and this time he even had a little surprise for Ashley.
I'm proud to be black.
And I'm proud to be Donald Trump. You know, I've been to China. Tremendous place, really.
But the craziness did not stop there, because when the next person walked in with half their head shaved and the other half dyed a bright purple and loudly declared to everyone around that they would not accept any pronoun other than she or her.
I'm a transgender woman, my pronouns are she, her, and I will only accept those pronouns.
After hearing that, Tony had no choice but to wear his cowboy hat and tell that person that their opinion means nothing to the king of LC signs.
Sir, don't worry, we got you, sir. Have you ever seen such a convenient LED sign? Just put in batteries and light them up, all with a single plug.
But that wasn't all, because when LA-based influencer Petra Pelch was complaining how it was so hard to find a masculine liberal man,
As a liberal
Man, you know what? Don't have like school or work. Don't you have like school or work?
woman.
it is really hard to find a man who is willing to play the more traditional masculine role in the relationship.
Tony didn't have even a little bit of sympathy before totally destroying her.
Don't care. Wondering how to know your sign company is trustworthy is all about how they ship your signs.
Sometimes Tony is in a good mood and helps influencers even when they ask some dumb questions. Like this time when New York-based influencer Jessie Rose couldn't figure out a very simple question.
We're not the same person. We're here to set the record straight. We're queer.
Tony had a clear answer which must have cleared all their doubts.
What is it about us that people find so similar?
The cocks. Anyways, how to know if a sign company is capable is to check the machinery.
While Tony usually enjoys his witty comebacks against the influencers, the next influencer even made him feel uncomfortable, because when a TikToker named Lily's Cask posted a really creepy video, the reaction was so bad that he had to turn the comments off.
I'm a little trans girl, small and cute.
And when Tony finally had a reply for Lily, even he was really disgusted.
What the fuck? Anyways, for over $200, you can solve the troubles of thousands.
Hey man, maybe that's his reaction to me.
Of dollars.
Up next, this next influencer tried to hop on a new trend to get some more views.
Let's see what kind of gay TikTok thinks I am.
However, when Tony saw their post,
I think I saw the asexual flag.
He was not
That's not even considering. Not even considered something. Because it just means that you're proud that you're not into anyone.
impressed at all.
Let's see what kind of gay TikTok thinks I am.
No, let's not. Anyways, we've been making signage for more than 14 years.
Tony gets a lot of questions from his fans about his LED signs. But when this next influencer asked their audience something very specific,
Darlings, have you ever woken up and realized that you're just a gay fairy?
Tony didn't waste any time in telling them how he feels.
Haven't tried that before, but here's how to tell if your LED sign is shit.
There are people who think that Tony only attacks influencers. But when a 5-star rated Dr. Ariel from Beverly Hills had a special offer for his fans and Tony,
Want better erections?
Tony showed that when it comes to roasting, everyone gets the same treatment.
Want better erections?
Nope. Anyways, if you want to order a sign for your franchise stores, make sure you buy from a responsible sign company.
But sometimes Tony runs into influencers who make even him speechless. Because when Tony saw 20-year-old TikTok creator Adrian dating a 63-year-old guy,
there is a 43-year age difference between us. He's older than my parents. A lot older.
Tony almost forgot how to speak English.
Anyways, how to instantly figure out your sign quality is the edge.
And if all that wasn't enough, this activist named Lee McGreeve let out a primal roar in the middle of a convention.
I am going to spend the next minute screaming.
And when Lee finally stopped yelling, it didn't feel like Tony would ever want to hear from her again.
Anyways, if your LED sign is easy to rust as the time goes by, tell them to knock it off.
Where did they go? Man, I can't believe I'm top frang. Yeah. Even got one.
From copycats inside his own company to dudes on the other side of the world trying to clone him frame by frame, Tony from LC Sign has quietly become one of the most recognizable faces on the internet. Tony took what should have been a boring product demo and turned it into one of the most unforgettable marketing sensations the internet has ever seen. As Tony's fame grew, people didn't just watch. They started to dissect his videos, trying to figure out the secret sauce to his massive view counts.
We are Japanese. We change our voice. Depends on the work.
Homie, it's stunning. Many of us don't know exactly what styles we can do with our lightboxes.
And soon enough, they started copying his formula. But what Tony has built goes far beyond viral content. It's a whole new style of marketing, one built purely on personality.
What's up, homie? I'm Tony. If you want to order signs for your franchise stores,
In a world where big companies spend millions trying to be relatable to the normal people, Tony does it by simply making fun of cringe-worthy TikToks. Most people who try to copy Tony don't get what makes him unique. They just copy the surface and fail miserably. But to really see why Tony blew up, you first have to understand how his content actually works. Tony's content strategy operates on 3 distinct levels. First, there's the shock value of the initial cringe TikTok that hooks you in.
How many genders are there?
It's a spectrum, so like a lot.
A lot.
Then there's the deadpan humor and the ever-shifting accent that keeps us entertained.
China, China. I know China very well. I know everybody in China.
And finally, there's the actual marketing that sets Tony apart, making...
Guys, should I do that? No, I cannot. I don't want to.
you remember both the product and the person behind it.
Can I ask you out?
Why not?
Awesome. It's our closing time. We need to get out of here. Get out of here. Anyways, take a look at this LED vintage style sign right here.
So when people try to copy Tony, they tend to latch onto one of these things, but rarely all 3 of them together. Sometimes when people talk about Tony's copycats, some fans start bringing up creators like Elon Musk, better known online as the Chinese Elon Musk.
Everyone, I'm Elon Musk.
At first glance, he might seem like an obvious copycat, doing impressions of someone famous in Tony's style. But when you look a little bit closer, the comparison doesn't really work. Because this Elon Musk wasn't trying to sell us anything. And more importantly, he was already going viral online before Tony even started working at LC Sign. But the same can't be said about Ryan Chongqing. Because when Chen Rui started posting his Trump impressions on the internet, it didn't take long for him to go viral.
Guys, you know where we are? We're in Chongqing, China. Look at this. We're literally in the sky, look at this.
Almost overnight, his over-the-top but almost perfect impersonations of Trump started spreading across platforms. As his videos started blowing up, there was one name that kept coming up in the comments. Tony from LC Sign. People couldn't help but compare their styles. Because while Ryan might be one of the best in the world at mimicking the president,
nowadays, a lot of good stuff is made in China. Everybody knows it, right?
Tony isn't exactly far behind either.
China, China, China. Would you like some fries? You can't trust Kamala, but you can always trust China, LC Sign.
But despite the comparisons, there doesn't seem to be any bad blood between the two. In fact, they've collaborated several times before, doubling down on the madness and giving each other their followers.
Look, who do we have here? Look at this, look at this. Tony, my big friend, And it's a big day today, right?
Yes, it is.
And even when iShowSpeed was touring China, he met both of them at once. And somehow that turned into a chaotic Trump impression battle.
Who's a real Trump? I think he likes me, so he's trying to mimic.
Wait a minute, who likes you? Who likes you?
He likes me, he likes me.
You know, they have the rumors that say that one of us is the imposter. Yeah.
I don't know who's the imposter, but I think I got Riz. So
you got Riz?
W in it.
Okay, it's getting old for me.
Job for
that
Ryan.
one.
Right?
W in the chat for Tony.
While Ryan and Tony might respect each other's content, Tony's reach is going way beyond YouTube Shorts and TikTok chaos. In fact, his style is now making waves in places you'd never expect, like LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, some professionals have openly encouraged others to drop everything they're doing and copy Tony from LC Sign, praising his approach as the blueprint for the future of marketing. But what started as admiration quickly morphed into imitation, because many took the advice completely wrong. Instead of drawing inspiration, some accounts began re-uploading Tony's videos almost word for word, with slightly tweaked usernames, a few minor edits, hoping no one would notice. These imposters flooded platforms like YouTube and TikTok, muddying the waters and confusing fans. Some of these pages were pulling in millions of views from content they didn't even create. The algorithm kept pushing their clips, and the casual viewers assumed it was Tony's other account. And these scalpers racked up ad revenue, sometimes even selling the accounts once they got big enough. until LC Sign showed up to shut it all down. They issued public warnings across their social media and even called out the impersonators by name and made it crystal clear there's only one Tony and only one real LC Sign. But just when you think the copycat chaos might slow down, things only get worse. Because when Douglas Townsend started making videos selling cars, the internet couldn't help but notice he wasn't just inspired by Tony, he was Tony, just in America and selling cars instead of LED signs.
I took my new husband to the Walmart.
F-words. One time I ordered a pizza at Burger King. Hey, we got a 25 Kia Sportage. Come holler.
People are suffering. People are dying.
Yeah, it's America. Fuck them. Hey, we got a 24 Ram Laramie. Come get it.
When our electricity bills started climbing, I knew we needed to manage our energy better. That's when I started looking into solar, something reliable, safe, something efficient for the long
Come on, guys.
Huawei really stood out for several reasons. First, it's a trusted global brand.
The fruit I'm top ranking by a large margin. Freaking hell.
And I've used their devices for years and never had any problems. Second, their office here in the Philippines, I know there's real support whenever I need it.
Fuse, bro,
I
the
also met their
fuse.
team personally, which gave me confidence.
Thank
What's even
you.
better is that Huawei is a one-stop shop. They provide everything.
From the jump cuts to unfiltered jokes, Dauk felt like an
Man, I swear if I ever go back to online selling and online reselling, I'm gonna be more aggressive with how I plug them.
American remix of LC Sign, swapping glowing LED signs for shiny SUVs and monthly payments.
I really don't know what's gotten into me recently.
Not nutrition. Hey, we got a 24 Willys. Just came in. Come holla.
Just like Tony, Douglas wasn't really scared of getting cancelled.
Y'all want to know who I date, who I go with?
Nope, but I think you think you're black. Hey, we got a 25 SST Ram truck. Come holla.
But while Tony kept things absurd but still family-friendly, Doug's content went all in on adult humor, risky jokes, and edgy punchlines.
100 men versus one gorilla? Sure.
But I thought he said earlier that he has a husband, right?
Oh, you would so lose. There's no way you could take.
Mofo. Anyway.
Take 100 men. Come holler.
And even though it got him a ton of attention, it also kept getting him shadow banned again and again. He still managed to grow over 700,000 followers on Instagram, but his TikTok kept getting taken down. But instead of stopping, Doug just doubled down. He leaned into the attention, launched his cameo, and quickly became one of the most requested creators on the platform, with his signature "Come Holler" becoming a catchphrase across the internet.
Hey guys, well, it's official. I'm the king of cameo. If you want somebody to make fun of your friends, want me to promote your business.
Man, I want the happy birthday. The African happy birthday. I don't want to watch this anymore, man. It's getting old. I don't want to be out of control like that.
Tombez là. Tirez, tombez. Let's do it.
Oh man, I just saw behind the scene. I think I've seen them do like anime characters. Oh my goodness.
Happy birthday to you. Blow out the candles, Kotaro, huh?
Happy birthday, Recipo! Happy birthday, Recipo! We love you! We love you! Mwah!
Yeah. Maybe I should get one of those for someone I know. Oh my G, they only have like 3 days fulfillment time, guys. Oh my. Maybe I should request one. That's awesome. What? Place an order? So we gotta pay for that? It's not free? I wonder how much.
Happy birthday, Recipo! Happy birthday, Recipo! We love you! We love you! Mwah!
The infantilization of Asia needs to stop. Like, these countries are not utopian societies. And there's this specific genre of American that can't handle that fact because Japan for them is their safe space to escape the capitalist rat race. You know, they get home from their dead-end jobs at like FedEx and suddenly they have these worlds to be able to jump into. You know, anime is such a powerful escape for them. It all falls apart though when they actually get the chance to go to Japan and they don't really see it as a country, they just see it as their anime world. This is not normal behavior.
Airplane ticket to Isekai World. Man, ain't no escaping reality, man. You know, I think my imagination is my isekai. And I don't want to be hit by truck cone. GG.
Behavior. Got bored and decided to turn myself into a 10 in Tokyo. Welcome to Japan. No other country is treated like this. Like, imagine an Asian couple going to like West Philadelphia for vacation and they show up in full Jimmy Fallon black because they watched The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air once. I just think it's funny how it's always the white liberal Americans that center their whole personality around being obsessed with Japan. These people spend all day complaining about corporate greed, but then they get on a Japanese train and sit next to a salaryman who's like dying of alcohol poisoning after his 18-hour shift, and they excuse that as just being a part of the culture.
These after-work naps aren't looked down on. They're seen as signs of dedication and team spirit.
Did you know Japan has a word for dying from too much work? It's called karoshi.
No way, bro. Japan has a word for that? Oh my god. Japan is hands down one of the worst developed countries to live in as a normal person. There's an entire sub-pocket of YouTube that's just Japanese workers documenting how much they hate their lives every day. They have to work 12 to 16 hours a day, and you'd think that would make them productive as a country, right? Well, they're not really even that.
Man, I don't even want to work. I'm just kidding, of course. I need to work, man, you know, during my previous work, there are actually times when I think to myself, man, I love my job. I love what I do. Anyway.
They ranked 28 out of 38 in labor productivity compared to the rest of the OECD countries. They got beat by Germany, and they take 6-hour lunch breaks over there and drink beer through the shift. See, the thing is, in Japanese culture, there's always the workers in the office that want to look like they're more productive than everyone else, so they never leave, and everyone else sees them doing this, so they stay as well, because if they leave, they look lazy. And in reality, what the fuck are you guys even doing? They're just staring at windows and having useless meetings. But oh my god, can you guys believe they put bottles of water around each other when they pass out from exhaustion?
3 things in Japan that don't exist in your country. First, Japan has water.
Literally living in the future, bro. And what do you think happens to a society that's structured like this? They have no babies. Imagine getting home from a 16-hour shift. How can you not just jerk off to hentai and go to bed? There was under 700,000 Japanese babies born in 2025. They have 36 million elderly people. What do you even do at this point? And the worst part is, these disgusting slobs in the West see these statistics, they watch these animes where every girl is a submissive house slave, and they genuinely think they're the ones that need to step in and populate Japan.
What's your type? I like Asian and pale.
They get really mad when Indians have the same idea, by the way, which is just hilarious to watch unfold because they both think that Japanese women find their race more attractive, when in reality, Japanese women find them equally as disgusting.
Man, you know what? Even from my country standards, man, I think I'm ugly as fuck, man.
This picture is going viral on Japanese Twitter, says an Indian person. Actually, you can reverse Google search the image, and it's actually only getting posted by Indian people. Not a single Japanese person has posted this image at all. This picture is going viral on Japanese Twitter. No, it's not. It's actually only just getting posted by white people. Just like the Indians. Can we just be a little less sensitive about this country? They made $64 billion off tourism just last year, but the second you see an American...
Man, I just wanna leave them alone and I never wanna go to Japan, man. I love the people, but... man, I can't live there. There are days when I'm very... in Filipino, masipang, I'm very driven and full of purpose. But I just wanna be chill all the rest of my days. I have a laundry day, and I cook something. And then I might even go do the grocery. Man, I don't want to be a workaholic, man.
American tourist having fun in the country.
I'm not gonna survive in there.
Everyone's
unless it's gonna be in a rural place.
Immediately mad about it. It's disrespecting their culture. This video of a guy dancing on a Japanese train. Look at these comments. Bro, leave these people alone. Not in Japan, bro. It's what? Don't dance around them. They work and die. That's it. This is what the Americans are saying, by the way. The Japanese people saw this video and were like, this is awesome, actually. We kind of want to have a bit more fun and work less. Shut the fuck up. You like working. This is your culture. And maybe them having a more normal relationship with work might make them a little less fucking weird as well. I'm sorry, I know we're not allowed to say that, but this country does have a problem with minors, and I think it is very correlated with how their entire upbringing at school has to do with being extremely obedient and displaying servitude to these authority figures that have a power dynamic. You know, obviously at a level higher than normal. Like, what are these rules? Your underwear must be a certain color, and once you change into your gym clothes, you can't wear underwear. It's like, who's enforcing that one? It only became illegal for teachers to physically punish students in 2020. So in my opinion, I think this manifests very deeply in their sexuality as they grow up. You can see it in the media they watch, like the fact that a lot of the love interests in anime are 13-year-olds in schoolgirl outfits trying to like please their masters. It just is objectively concerning. And the people that watch this shit try so hard to justify it being normal. Like this video essay, why the West tries to cancel culture.
What you like in fiction does not correlate to what you like in reality. That fiction has minimal real-world consequences. Fiction is a reflection of one's imagination.
Bro. Bro, I think the characters I like really reflect what kind of people I like in real life. Or what I find attractive. I mean, you know, I think Ian Harry really, I think she really, what do you call this? What's the word? What's the word I'm looking for? She really primed me to like my next boss. Because my boss has the same hair, has the same age as Ian Harry, and kinda has the same build. Yeah, you know, if my previous boss heard this, she'd know who she is. I mean, some of my coworkers know that, you know, I find her attractive.
Imagination. I separate my fiction and my reality. I don't really care about ladies.
Not really into the body type or the content.
But I think they're welcome.
No.
Because they're
just fiction.
Guys, it's just fiction. Being normal in Japan says nothing about their society at all. Yes, the possession of CP was only made illegal there in 2014, but that's just a coincidence.
Yeah.
Guys, it's just fiction. Being normal in Japan says nothing about their society.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, Japanese phones have to make a physical sound every time you take a picture because so many men were taking underskirt photos of minors on trains, the same perversion that's constantly displayed in Lolly. Come on, don't be ridiculous. Lolly.
You know, I actually want
displayed in Lolly. Come on.
I want a suit like that made for my character.
Don't be ridiculous. Lolly has nothing to...
What the freak?
At the end of the day, they know the Lolly fanbase has a very large overlap.
And I want that made for my avatar.
With people who are actually attracted.
And you know, I want one made for Calliope Mori and Momosuzo Nene. See, I also want to cosplay Momosuzo Nene. We almost have the same. We almost have the same outfit. You know, I never really realized that because, you know, I don't watch them anymore. See, we almost have the same outfit. Oh man, no, I think I want a Funko Pop. I want a Momosuzu Nene Funko Pop or plushie. Damn, capitalism. Anyway, back to the video.
Did the kids, realistically. Like, I remember a couple years ago, there was this VTubing agency called Virtual 7 who debuted an actual 9-year-old VTuber into the space. Not a pretend 9-year-old, it was an actual child.
For the yeah.
That was actually one of the adults. I'm sure you couldn't tell. Nope. This was the actual 9-year-old. Fuck. Nope. Okay, this is not the one. This is the actual 9-year-old. Yep. Clearly. I don't know what they were doing with this text beside the avatar. 9 years old. Like, they really wanted to let everyone know that that was the selling point. I guess they know their market. Also, I guess this part's supposed to be a pacifier. 9-year-olds don't even use pacifiers, you fucking idiot. Banana. Just everything about this is disgusting. Anyway, the uproar that this caused on Twitter was a bit funny to me. Not that I disagree with it, obviously. I just kind of like how it forced a lot of the big age play VTubers to be like, shit. Fuck. The people in my fan base are probably gonna be the ones preying on this child. How do I not call my fans pedophiles, but also admit that they shouldn't be allowed to interact with real children in any capacity? They had to break the fourth wall a bit.
VTubing is something that is already established as having a primarily adult audience. So
Then you know what? I have a feeling that in real life she's like an overweight dude. Please be an overweight dude.
So when you try and debut a literal, actual 9-year-old girl into the space, into an adult space, it's very sick, very weird. Who do they hope to attract exactly?
Who are they trying to attract? You were literally just doing goo goo gaga sounds 3 minutes ago. Just look at this. This is a list of the most donated to YouTube streamers of all time. Why is the entire page grown adults pretending to be 12?
Oh my god, it's my big sister. Oh, Zura.
12-year-olds behind VTuber avatars.
But guys, I always mention here I'm a freaking grown man. There's no magic. And you know, the people who know me from Airsoft and the music scene, you know, they know me. They know I do this.
That look like stroke victims. What the fuck is going on in Japan? Like, these VTubers are actually going to hell. They're specifically taking advantage of the most lonely and vulnerable demographic of men who probably get treated very strangely from society for wanting to watch this shit. So the streamer recognizes this and realizes that if they want more money from these losers, they have to isolate them more from society by making them feel as loved as possible. They create this sense—
Come on, man. I don't want that. If you guys have something else to do, go do that first.
of comfort that extends past just providing content.
But you know, admittedly, I do hope that that somehow I'm providing some sort of comfort from loneliness. No, I wouldn't be streaming if I didn't wanna talk to people. And you know, I always remember that time when No, specifically that time during high school when I had no one to talk to. You know, the room I was staying in back then had a TV. It was my uncle's TV. And then one day my mom stormed in. She told me, I don't believe you can study with that noise. So she took the TV. And I honestly wanted the TV there because I'm freaking lonely. I'm lonely and I don't really want to interact with my late grandfather. I didn't want to disturb my other members of my family. Because, I know that they have other interests that are pretty far from mine, so
おかしいね、他の女の子いない。今ルシアとの時間じゃないの。
New close-up, new intense flavor for fresh vibes.
どうしよう。結婚しよう。この間も言ってたよね。いろんな女にって忘れてるんじゃないの。
Yeah, this girl got exposed for having a boyfriend in real life, by the way, and it basically destroyed her entire career. Her fans were so mad about it. I'm shaking and crying. What we had was special. 2 years down the drain. I hope you're happy with him. She lied to her fans that she's single and is only dedicated to her fans. Sorry, but I will not white knight liars. This has 7 downvotes, but he's actually kind of right. Like, this isn't a matter of Pokimane accidentally showing her foot on camera and people being like, she's farming donations from men. It was so much more than that. Like, this girl Russia was sending personalized videos to her top donators, telling them not to talk to other girls, selling them engagement rings. Who do you think is—
What the frick? I didn't know that. Why would they do that? Why would Russia do that, man? God damn. I knew someone who was a real big fan of what do you— who's that freaking Pipa? Yeah, Pipa. Man, come on. Come on, man. That's some bullshit, man. I hope he's not being taken advantage of by freaking Pipa and all of those face connect VTubers.
Buying an engagement ring from a VTuber. These are borderline, and I hate to say it, these are borderline disabled people. Of course they're gonna freak out. And she responded so weirdly. Okay, wait. Let me get this straight. You made $5 million selling your placenta water to like losers, and you're crying? You hit a generational lick. What are you even sad about? I actually think the West should just skip out on this part of Japanese culture entirely. No American should be signing with a Japanese talent agency as a VTuber. These contracts are nothing like American contracts. They can just write bullshit on them. Like a whistle—
Wait, is that the real Russia? Shit. Now I'm curious.
They can just write bullshit on them. Like, a whistleblower recently leaked one of these Japanese VTuber contracts to the public, and what they're asking from their talent is so bizarre. Like, listen to this wording. Party B shall provide Party A with certain information requested by Party A. Party B shall not provide false information to Party A. What? What does that mean? Are you having sex with men right now? Party B shall not provide false information to Party A. You have to tell me you're legally obligated to keep your pussy closed. Like, why do you have so much power over these women? They're just trying to milk them for as many donations as possible. Holy, anything to sell these engagement rings, I guess. Party B must hereby mutually confirm that ownership, intellectual property rights, or any other rights shall belong to Party A, or a third party who has granted Party A a license to use. Jesus Christ, what does Party A not have access to? What are they, the Japanese elementary schools? They need to know the color of Party B's underwear? What the fuck?
Man, that's why I don't wanna get signed, man. Shit. Yun. I never wanna get signed. Anyway, I wish the video was longer.
New Vicks Vapor Drops Extra Strong.
They can just write bullshit on them. Like, a whistleblower recently leaked one of these Japanese VTuber contracts to the public, and what they're asking from their talent is the fuck.
Forward. Regeneration.
Yeah, I know I don't wanna move to Japan, man.
The Japanese archipelago. While in America, we have the boring and stinky metropolis known as Place. Have you ever tried visiting Place, Japan? Ever seen this boring sight? What about in Japan? Well, this shouldn't be the only thing convincing you to move to this beautiful country. How about the wonderful work culture? Everyone here is treated fairly, and everyone... especially foreigners,
even had a company say that employees need to pay them when they miss work,
are given plenty of work opportunities at some of the world's fastest growing and technologically advanced companies. Or maybe you want to move here for the culture, which is fair and equal. It treats everyone, regardless of race or sex, with respect and... Okay, fine, I'll stop glazing Japan. I'm sure you all have heard enough of that. Japan, for those living in -1 billion, has basically become a global cultural powerhouse, second only to really the United States and maybe Europe. What you are saying, bro? Europe is a continent, bro? We are different countries, bro. Typical America. Either way, most of this cultural significance is both the result of the aftershocks created by the Japanese economic miracle throughout the 70s and 80s, as well as anime becoming wildly popular abroad within the past decade or so. This cultural megastatus has made the idea of Japan become more and more romanticized as time has gone on. I mean, you've probably seen it. If you go to your average high school 13 years ago and say, hey, has anyone seen that new episode of Steins? Yeah, you'd probably end up like that guy. Nowadays, if you say something like, yo, anyone see that new episode of One Piece? At least one person of every ethnic and racial background on Earth will materialize into the room you're in and swarm you to engage in a lively debate about what just happened on their favorite cartoon last night, at least in America. The differences this had on American culture, and thus by proxy the rest of the world, has catapulted Japan into a new cultural renaissance in a sense. What's funny is that, historically speaking, this isn't the first time this has happened. You have an influence on Portuguese and Spanish art in the late 17th and early 18th centuries due to things learned from Europe's first contact with Japan, and the Japanese movement in the late 19th century spurred on by an increasingly open Japan starting in 1858. For whatever reason, Japan and its
Yeah, that's the Meiji era.
culture have captivated the world multiple...
Yeah, you know, I may not be a big win, but yeah, I studied well. Yeah, yeah. You know, at least I remember something from school.
Times throughout history. However, things are different now. Rather than a passing interest in Japan or a more reserved, oh yeah, they're pretty cool attitude that the rest of the world has towards them, we've seen an ever-increasing idealization of what can just be seen as another part of the world out of many. I know not all of you venerate Japan as some kind of utopia, but a lot of people nowadays definitely have this idealized view of Japan in some form or another. Whether that be the belief of a superior nature, culture, art, media, fashion, etc. I've gotten pretty tired of the ridiculous amount of hype surrounding Japan, which is often propped up by unrealistic expectations and, for better or for worse, anime. You might be thinking, on what authority can I have commentary on Japan? It's not like I've been there. Yeah, I've been there. And it was, by far, the most interesting trip I've ever been on. I'll weave my experiences in and out of the video as needed, but I want to focus on a bigger picture viewpoint of the country before I dive deeper. The question I'm seeking to answer, broadly speaking, is this. Is Japan really all that amazing? Or is it just another part of the world that has its own goods and bads like anywhere else on Earth? You can probably guess what my answer is to that question, but let's actually take a deeper, more objective dive into both the good and bad things about Japan on a generalized basis. Without further ado, welcome, ladies and gentlebakas, to Japan. Now, to begin, is Japan a bad country? No, not even close. Sorry, contrarian edgelords, I'm not going to be bashing the country as a whole for just having some issues. As an American, we all know how big of a double standard that would be. To prove that I genuinely do believe Japan has some really amazing things about it, let's talk about some of them, largely from personal experience. Just to get it out of the way, yes, I do think Japanese animation, as of now, is just better than Western animation. This isn't because of some immutable characteristic or coolness factor, and I do have some objective reasons behind it. For starters, Western animation for the longest time has been dominated by a top-down system. In this way, independent artists or production teams pitch shows to networks who have boards that decide to greenlight them or toss their pitch Bibles in the trash. The show, in America and much of the Western world, does not see the light of day unless an executive gives it the go-ahead. In Japan, however, the system is largely bottom-up. For an anime to be created in the first place, it needs to be based on an already successful property created by an individual or small team of artists from the manga space. While these are often published by large companies, with the notable exception of stuff like One Punch, a property needs to be successful due to the work put in by an individual, which greatly increases its chances of getting a full animated rendition. This system, while not immune to the predatory practices and abuse by publishers that we'll talk about later, it does result in a better, more fleshed out show as opposed to Western networks which constantly try to create the next SpongeBob or something and focus on comedy and pre-existing franchises to make a quick guaranteed buck. Yes, Japan is indeed a beautiful place. While it's not the only beautiful place on Earth, there are certainly few countries which are as consistently beautiful as Japan in my opinion. Riding on the Shinkansen and watching large open fields go by with mountains in the distance, or taking a $12 round-trip funicular to the top of some mountain to see the best views my eyes have ever laid themselves upon, or literally taking a local train to the airport on my way out. Japan genuinely is one of the most beautiful countries I've ever visited. And that's saying something after I've climbed mountains in the Alps, hiked through Grand Tetons, and marveled at St. Peter's Basilica. However, I'm not going to pretend that Japan is pretty everywhere. Just like the US, just like Europe, just like anywhere else, it has its more boring and dull places. Don't believe me? Let's do an experiment. To try for yourself, go to Japan on Google Maps. Then drag the Street View marker to basically anywhere north of the Tokyo Metro. There's a pretty solid chance you're going to land somewhere that isn't ugly, but isn't the most beautiful place you've ever laid eyes on. Or let's just take the opposite approach. Drop it literally anywhere, pretend you don't see Japanese text, maybe at a Walmart and a mobile gas sign, and oh, there we go. We've just invented rural Montana. All that aside though, Japan is definitely a culture that values and appreciates natural beauty, so you get more spots like this compared to this. Yes, the people here are very polite. The only rudeness I ever encountered here was from some like middle-aged North English dude who I caught the glance of a couple times at a gyoza restaurant, only for him to walk by me and say, "You're a fucking deckhead," multiple times before his friend came and apologized for him because he was very drunk apparently, which I've never heard of any British person ever being drunk in my life before, if you can believe it. Every person I encountered would always try their best to be friendly, inviting, and always greet me or whoever I was with a smile.
That's why they don't like foreigners.
And to the Western-born Japan glazers racing to the comments to tell me how I was probably oblivious to the fact that they are shy and won't really tell people off. First of all, that's not true. I've seen it happen. And second of all, I make sure to be as polite and gracious as possible when it comes to interacting with different cultures. I'm not running around Shinjuku with my shirt off spouting expletives at locals like what might happen in the walled city of New York or Trenton, New Jersey or something. However, as I mentioned earlier, a major drawback with this politeness is that, yeah, Japanese people are quite shy. I'll go more into this later, but it's just a caveat to everything I've said so far. Yes, as a musician myself, Japanese music is really secondary only to American music and beats it in some respects, in its ability to weave different styles and customs together to create some really cool and unique fusion music. Classical rock fusion is an inherently unique style of jazz and funk, Vocaloid. Basically, most modern genres of music you hear today are either descended from American or Japanese forms of music, or at the very least are echoes of earlier styles from those countries.
But really quickly, we have to do Tuba True Roll Call. Unusual Chief Guy Finn, Yellow, Premier Tabu TV Cat Mask, Jeff 2, Sokatone Soldier, Andy, Maggie Gordon, alongside CNN, Chloe Beavers, Agent 2187, Spec Norway, Nep, Callow Fox, Tibet Korkmaz, Duke, Always Cone Maria, Mika Henderson, and Game Boy Patreon. As well as Pink Floyd Fanatic, Zode, M Now Panda, Devogen, Draggy, Alamovo, Blueberry Vanny, Pickle, Haslock, Planet Wild Sunny, and Zacro. Enlist in the Tupac Troop by using the link in the description.
Sumasangkap ka na!
Adobe Acrobat Studio is all new. What can PDF spaces with AI do to a sales invoice good enough to eat? Adobe Express brings the heat. Now we're talking, it's time to share. Every page, every doc, everything's right there. Now you can do that. Do that with the all new Acrobat.
I should have a Lincoln Sphere.
Now that I've warded off the people thinking I want to unfairly bash the country for just having some issues, let's dive into the real meat of the video. Why you wouldn't want to move to Japan, despite all the things I just mentioned. If you want to live anywhere on Earth, unless it's in some magical commune inside an anarcho-socialist head, you gotta get your broke ass off the couch and go make some money. But how exactly would you do this around the world? Well, for now, let's just ignore the whole, yeah, you can't just work for us when you're on a tourist visa, sir, stick
Alright.
that people love telling me. In America, let's find, okay, here's little Joshua, all right? He's 17 years old and ready to start working. Let's give him a job at Chipotle, I guess. You get like 5 people that come up to the line all like, "Hey man, can I get a chicken burrito, but please remove the seasoning and tortilla and add a few sprinkles of Hawaiian volcanic salt glass on top and maybe a squirt of horseshoe crab blood on top," and you just make it and put up with whatever. You get paid $15 an hour, which is great, but if you split a place with some of your friends and you have a little side hustle or passion project going for you, you can definitely sustain yourself for now. You can also just up and quit if your boss is annoying you, you're tired of the job, or if you want to move on to somewhere else. We can even extrapolate this to higher education. Let's say you're a computer science major who, after wrestling a music major for the last bed at the homeless shelter, finally are able to extract enough energy from a nearby power line to both charge your laptop and pass an interview from some billion-dollar mega corporation who just opened their first CS position since the Precambrian. You're probably not paid as much as you like, but a lot of larger companies offer good benefits, bonuses for high performance, and a hopefully suitable work culture that can help propel you to the next level of your career, whether that be through promotions or applying learned experience at a new company. Now let's relocate little Joshua to the nation of Japan with a brand new working visa. Where can you end up? Well, you got about 3 options. The first one, and one of the more common ones for younger people, is being an English teacher. People seem to think this one's easy to get, but let's just see that's really the case. The requirements are pretty reasonable. Are you fluent in Japanese? If not, good luck. You might be able to land a position as an assistant teacher or as a teacher in an international school. If you fill the requirements somewhat, good luck being picked out of potentially hundreds of applicants to any given job. Even if you fill all the perfect requirements, good luck making a living wage, enjoying a less stressful life, on top of learning to integrate yourself with local culture and adjusting to a radically different lifestyle. According to this poster where they say, who from the West can live on $1,300 take home each month? Even if rent is only $400, you'd be living on $900 a month. Literally, Japanese McDonald's employees make around $1,200 per month take home. As a trained and qualified English teacher in Japan, you're making less than if you had worked at a McDonald's in America and Japan. And that's after going through the massive Japanese bureaucracy to both be allowed to work there, paying to get over there, and getting set up in the first place, paying for daily transportation, and everything in between. But, as I said earlier, being an English teacher is a job that, despite the low pay for high qualifications, can at least be understood for being in this position. It's a lower demand, high supply industry that is shrinking by the year, on top of, needing the proper qualifications to have the job. Okay, let's pivot away from that to more traditional industries. Congratulations, little Joshua, you've been promoted.
I have?
Yeah, I'm gonna give you your very own diploma.
Oh, gee, thanks.
Now you can work at a higher skill company of your choosing. But choose wisely, because Japan has a wide variety of work environments from chill to... Anyways, good luck. Alright, it's been about 3 months. Let's check in on little Josh. Oh, hey there, buddy. What's up?
I haven't gotten more than 4 hours of sleep in weeks. Almost every night I go out drinking with my boss until we puke. Most nights I miss the last call for the metro, so I can't even go home. That's why I'm here.
Yeah, if you're a salaryman in Japan, get ready to live the lives that 19-year-old unionized Starbucks baristas think they do. Your bosses treat you as expendable. You live and work, quote, 40 hours a week, but you're often secretly required to work more. While what this poster said isn't going to be what everyone experiences, on a general note, is unfortunately a common thing in Japan. Quote, my wife, Japanese, works a minimum of 14 hours a day, 30 hours overtime a week. If she tries to get help to reduce her hours, the response is that she is inefficient at her work and needs to work faster. 14 hours a day! That leaves you a maximum of 2 hours of free time if you want to get 8 hours of sleep. In Japan, it's entirely expected for you to go out drinking with your boss very frequently. Does this seem like a dumb idea? Yeah, it does to us living in guild cultures at least. Expecting that from somebody in America and making them feel like shit the next morning just for the sake of a drinking challenge would make many of us, regardless of status, probably feel pretty guilty. But in Japan, a lot of times it's an expectation. If you don't go out that night to drink with your boss that you don't even like, good luck having any future job prospects in the company or gaining the respect of your employer. On top of this, because a constant well-organized output of work is constantly required, lest you bring shame upon yourself, things better not change at the company, and you better not bring any concerns up to your boss. And the thing is, if you don't suck up to your boss or authority figure in some way, you're gonna get absolutely shafted and go nowhere very quickly. This is all pretty bad, but to be completely fair, not 100% of Japan is this way. Not every company's gonna treat you like garbage, ignoring the fact that you're a foreigner, and you're not always gonna be working 45 hours of overtime a month. On top of this, much of the world also sees unfair practices such as this. So, you might be asking, how does Japan uniquely stand out in this category among developed countries? Yeah, we have yet to talk about the wonders that are known as... What's a black company, you might ask? Well, imagine the worst case scenario of a job I just mentioned and make it even worse. How exactly? Well, we have a wonderful source here from this utterly fascinating Instagram account called literally Salaryman Tokyo. He details his day-to-day life working for one of these companies. In this video, our hero describes an utterly horrific workplace. Oftentimes, black companies target young workers and foreigners, like our little Joshua, because they genuinely just haven't heard about black companies or the work environment. They'll work you to death, giving you meaningless tasks and threats if you don't complete them on time. Bosses don't want to help you, nor do they care about you in the first place, and just expect you to sit down and shut up. You just work all day, tirelessly, lest you summon the rage of your boss, all to make it home in the bum-ass middle of the night to get like 7 hours of sleep if you're lucky. Well, gee, that sounds kind of bad. I'd quit right away if I were them. Yeah, right. Let's say that you've had enough and you're sick of being treated like glorified property. Let's think of the man and tell him that I quit. Yeah, we're gonna sue the shit out of you. What? Yep, if you leave, we're just gonna have to sue you down to every last atom of concrete in the foundation of your house. Yeah, you heard that right. Your own company that treats you horribly, almost like they didn't want you to be there, will make sure that you're walking away from them pretty much empty-handed. And even if you can avoid this fate, they're probably gonna sabotage your future job prospects by emailing future employers and trying to blackmail you. Again, since Japan is largely a shame-based culture, many of these companies will, out of fear of bringing shame upon their company and customers, not hire you. On top of that, even if you get past that stage, they might make you write an apology letter to guilt trip you. They're playing to both shame and guilt culture here, which is truly sinister. In America, we'd probably just say, yeah, fuck you, I'm not doing that, and we'd probably be fine. On top of that, word would get out about this company doing this kind of shit, and they'd either be put out of business or at the very least, see both internal and external pressures from investors, customers, and the government to at least partially change their ways. Despite how rough we got it over here, at least Western society has a strong enough influence on companies and organizations to universally shun practices like this, unlike turning a blind eye to it like what happens in Japan. Just to be real, this is not saying the West is superior or anything like that, it's just quirks of our culture and that Japan is a very high trust society, which is kind of the opposite from the US. Alright, let's just leave all traditional work behind. Let's say you're an artist and that you want to work for an anime studio or draw for a living. Well, I hope you enjoy having every last drop of creativity and your enjoyment of your work sucked out of you by big publishers attempting to work young and inexperienced people to death with little pay. Young people, often from lower income countries such as Bangladesh, India, Indonesia, Malaysia, etc., even have work outsourced to them simply because they will work harder for less money. Big studios will use their beloved lineup of shows and create a sort of wow effect to create an idealized vision of what being a part of a team that creates an anime is really like. If you remember, about a year ago, the studio behind the anime Jujutsu Kaisen, MAPPA, was under a lot of fire for working their animators so hard for such little pay that they could barely keep themselves afloat and had to make a choice between seeing their families or keeping their jobs. Long story short, in 2023, it came out that MAPPA had forced its employees to sign a non-disclosure agreement related to the working conditions of the company. It's basically forcing them to stay silent against their will. The common tactic they use is outsourcing the drawing of in-betweens, basically like references between which an animation will move, and pay those artists, often newer and experienced ones, per still they draw. You might be thinking, oh yeah, it's probably, pretty quick to draw.
Hold on.
The Sisters of the Veil honor your death.
So, is there anything you want to talk about, guys?
Assassinations, nature's way.
It's just very quiet here.
Your top tower is under attack.
I think I left my phone somewhere. I'll look for it. Okay, I'm back.
Revenge on beats a cure. A twisted path. Very fine.
Freaking hell.
A twisted path. Yes.
feedback to the video.
These, and they might get paid like 10 bucks a drawing. Yeah. How about averaging around $1 to $2 per completed drawing that can take anywhere between 10 minutes to an hour to complete? Essentially, most animators in the industry can expect to make about the same as a US minimum wage worker. In 1997,
Let me respawn in Rome, please. Yes.
Our city currently has a population of 9.
in an economy with a frequently weak and volatile currency, even if you're a higher paid individual, the amount of time you'll have to work will be absolutely soul-crushing. Expect up to 11-hour days with this previously mentioned low pay. Even disregarding the ridiculous hours, you can't even compare it to similarly low-paying jobs elsewhere because, often, people can work second jobs. Many of my teachers growing up would also do bartending on the side or run a separate business because they had mostly free weekends and time over breaks to make money. This isn't even possible with an 11-hour workday schedule. Okay, fine. Let's say you land a perfect job, are treated well, and genuinely enjoy your life. Well, good luck seeing any meaningful growth in the industry you work in and the economy you live in. Japan, since the 90s, has been struggling to grow economically. They basically tried everything under the sun. Negative interest rates, enticing foreign workers, government programs to help stimulate the economy, etc. Almost none of this has worked. It's gotten to the point that Germany, an economy that 20 years ago had a third of Japan's GDP, has recently just surpassed it. And while this is a problem that is less tangible than, say, the aforementioned black company thing, its effects are felt societally and on the macro scale. The yen is volatile and weak against the dollar and euro. As an example, when I went in July, $1 ended up getting to a wild 160 yen. By the time September came around, it had fallen to 140 yen per dollar, aka the yen became more valuable. Now, as of December, it has risen back to almost 150 yen to the dollar, nearly breaking 160 yen in mid-November. So, if your plan is to make some money and leave, good luck keeping the value of your work in place. While it might sound good that the fluctuations can go up and down and, maybe you could time it, the volatility affects both the economy of Japan and your ability to find suitable work. While I'm not going to pretend I can give you a dissertation on the macroeconomic effects of currency instability, just know that it's not really a good thing. And just a quick aside, if you like this type of content and want to see more of it on this channel, just let me know by subscribing and leaving your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to start a discussion about my findings and opinions. Alright, fine. The work sucks, the economy is great, but let's just ignore that. What if little Joshua wants to be a content creator, like those cool people he's seen over on YouTube? They can work for himself and not to put up with all the bullshit of the black companies or the job market in general. Well, the problems don't really end there. To succeed in any new culture, you gotta, to the shock of many of my fellow Americans, integrate with said new culture. With that comes learning a new language, understanding local customs, and being privy to their expectations. And, oh boy, while Japanese culture might seem cool on the outside, on the inside, it's really a hidden leviathan, ready to devour those who are not prepared to adapt quickly and appropriately to its requirements and off-putting aspects. Gee, I know the job market over here is bad, but I'll find a way. Just like my favorite anime character, Itsumi Rinkaro from Ota Ota Rinkaro. Everyone will learn to love me, and I'll learn to love and appreciate them too. Then, one day, I'll find true love from an extremely skinny and pasty white woman with blue hair, big eyes, and massive teeth. Let's be honest here, Japan has a bit of an image problem. And I don't mean a Dr. Disrespect kind of image problem. I mean one of unrealistically high expectation. Whether that be due to an incorrect perception of Japanese culture because of anime, a belief in a purely honorable and polite nation, or some twisted hypersexual interpretation of its lifestyle. As much as I understand most don't fully believe in any of these three ideas, you'd be hard-pressed to find people in the, quote, Japan is amazing crowd who don't fall victim to one of these misconceptions. In this part of the video, I'm gonna weave my own experiences alongside the thoughts and experiences of others to make sure you're getting the most well-rounded view of it all. For now, let's start in a more generalized place and work our way inwards. Xenophobia is something many of us have heard from Japan. If you're new to the English language or aren't totally sure what that means, you're probably not American, but what that basically means is the fear of people from other countries. Again, while I must stress this is not a universal statement for Japan, many foreigners, often due to race or ethnicity, are discriminated upon in Japan. This obviously happens in other countries too, but the main reason I'm talking about it here is because Japan is, again, often idealized unnecessarily and tends to attempt avoiding this image. While the problem is often overblown a bit, there are lots of subtle things that may or may not affect your ability to live here comfortably. I will say, personally, I didn't experience any noticeable discrimination, but I'm also a tall, skinny white guy, so there's that. An anecdote from one of my friends I'd like to tell is this. His dad, who's Puerto Rican, which if you didn't know is the island territory of the United States that's mostly inhabited by Hispanic people, went to Japan on a business trip sometime before COVID. Just to note, his dad specifically is definitely not a white person. After arriving at this hotel, he decided to get to the pool. Once he got in, every single Japanese person got up and left. There's instances of stuff like this on public transport, people getting up moving seats, etc. It's not overly common, but it's also more noticeable than in America or Europe for most places. Like I said, every country has issues like that, but I want to help bring some people back down to earth about how Japan may be represented in television or otherwise. I mean, you've probably seen it. Most anime you watch have people of like every skin color and race and gender, and genuinely an impressive amount of diversity, which can potentially mislead people into how some areas of Japan may treat foreigners.
Tutang kami pagtanghali, boss.
I need coffee.
Try this! Coffee ko brown. Saktong timpla ng kape, milk, at brown sugar. Kaya sarap, pampa-up! Coffee ko brown. Saktong timpla na may sarap, pampa-up. Coffee ko brown. Sarap, pampa-up!
Isang spray, sayaw ready na. Mag-Rexona lagi.
Now, onto a problem that's mostly unique to Japan, over-sexualization and sex crime. If you're a woman, or in some cases, a man who dresses feminine, this part's for you. Do you notice how in literally every anime, except ones made by a woman, Fullmetal Alchemist being the fantastic example, largely speaking, all of the women have this extremely over-sexualized vibe to their clothes, mannerisms, and general demeanor? What about the amount of anime and manga that features some aloof loser somehow stumbling into some magical world or perfect school where a bunch of high school girls are just absolutely gobsmacked by him and constantly want to get in his pants? What about the permeation of lolly culture into the media and other places where they really shouldn't be, like with massage parlors and escorts? Well, we'll get into the specifics later, but for now, let's preface the current situation with some actual events that have showcased how out of control this has gotten in Japan. I guess a good place to start would be the adult escorts I and others often spotted and often had come up to us while walking around in Tokyo and Osaka. This obviously is not unlike many other places that you can travel to, but the difference here is the clothing and general aesthetic the organizations running these establishments and managing these escorts put on for tourists and locals alike. Many of them are dressed in childlike clothing or maid outfits and have tons of makeup on to further accentuate what are known as neonatal features, often involving the appearance of larger eyes alongside a smaller nose and mouth. Similarly, they talk in high-pitched voices like a young schoolgirl would in most of Japanese media. On top of this, I've even heard of establishments that specifically role-play high school-style scenarios for customers if they pay a certain fee, often revolving around a classroom setting or a public transport setting. This is really unlike anywhere else I've ever been to or heard of, and it really prefaces this situation on how out of control it has gotten. That's not to mention other strange things, like that used panties vending machine, or billboards showing young anime women in bikinis or other forms of revealing clothing everywhere. I promise you I'm not being a prude, it doesn't offend me, but it's something off-putting to see in a public and well-traveled area rather than in the usual red light district or in a more adult-centered area. The over-sexualization and frequent pushing of childlike features in sexualized mediums has really created a lot of issues. What might those be? Well, let's talk about some of them. Some of us know the fact that, at least until recently, the age of consent in Japan was an eye-watering 13 years old. 13! This led to a notoriously sketchy legal framework that often let people who abuse kids off with minimal repercussions. This all came to a head in 2023 when a 56-year-old Japanese politician thought it would be, quote, strange if he was arrested for having intercourse with a 14-year-old girl.
Cause I like high school girls, that's why!
Saying this in America would have your head splattered against a brick wall by some people, but for most of recent Japanese history, this would have been seen as a problem by only a small but growing contingent of everyday citizens. The government, however, was silent on this issue for decades, still basing their age of consent on a law from 117 years ago. Finally, with these comments, the Japanese parliament voted to raise the age of consent from 13 to 16, which is still quite low compared to many other countries. They also finally redefined what they called, quote, forced intercourse, as now belonging under a general guise of non-consent. Basically, until very recently, there were numerous cases of non-consensual but non-violent cases of this act occurring that were thrown out or significantly lessened in the severity if the victim was over the age of 13 and, quote, could not prove that the interaction was violent. Only if they were under 13 was the, quote, violence part ignored. On top of this, Japan has a huge issue with minor sex crimes such as battery, assault, or groping on public transport. While officially, Japan's rate of non-consensual assault, sorry, I'm not trying to get demonetized, is more than 37 times less than that of the US, that's because an estimated 95% of cases are not reported. And for children, as well as members of the LGBT community, it's likely a lot lower. On top of this, many schoolgirls report that this happened to them at least once while on public transport. I mean, Jesus, I remember one being on an escalator in Akihabara and seeing signs on the wall that said, quote, beware of upskirting. But what might be the root of all this behavior, and why has it continued to worsen over so many years? Well, my friend, that may come down to much of the media, and especially anime that's being produced in Japan, as well as a overall culture of silence that discourages people from speaking out against their abusers. I can speak from experience. Japan is a huge issue with everyday over-sexualization, especially of childlike features. As I mentioned earlier, I can give so many examples of instances where I saw escorts on the side of the street harassing friends of mine while dressed in little maid skirts and wearing makeup that enhance their more childlike features. Other, less lascivious examples involve what are known as, quote, idols, which are usually young-looking adult women in largely revealing clothing that sing and dance for crowds of older men in a weird hybrid of anime and real life. Here's a video I got in Osaka of this very thing happening randomly when I was walking down the street.
This place fucking rules.
As I mentioned earlier, if you've ever watched like an anime before, you've seen how often high school kids, young girls, and even trans people are sexualized. A great example is an anime like Dr. Stone, which I myself really like, but there are multiple instances of often female characters who are canonically 16 or younger having very extreme proportions and a large focus on said body parts, often unnecessarily. I don't really need to list out more examples because I'm sure you can come up with your own. On top of this, Japan has a huge issue with virginity. Yeah, really. According to a study conducted in 2019, over a quarter of Japanese people under the age of 40 are virgins. While this may seem like a bit out of left field, bear with me here. This issue is largely driven by an overworked nation of young people who have no time or ability to meet each other. Despite the government attempting to spur development in this way, they've so far failed. It's a crisis that also affects nations like South Korea and even China to an extent. What this means is that, importantly, a lot of people, specifically men, have less knowledge and experience surrounding courtship and romance, which leads to the unfortunate reality that anime and NSFW anime, again I'm trying to keep my monetization, have led to unrealistic expectations for many. Anime such as Steins Gate, while absolutely a great anime, have perpetuated scenarios like this. A man who's a giant loser that suddenly gets involved with like 40 attractive women that also finds the love of his life among them. While I'm not saying this is impossible, it has gradually progressed to now, in more modern anime.
You know, Steins Gate, one of the characters there is rumored to be a trap.
Anime, we have what's known as the genre of isekai.
Yeah, you know.
Isekai.
I stopped watching Konosuba because I find Aqua very annoying.
For the uninitiated, is a genre that you've probably heard parts of before. Someone in a usually shitty state of living one day dies or magically wakes up in some fantasy or video game world that they now have to explore and figure out. While not all follow this exact formula, it has become increasingly common. What has developed out of this is an increasing amount of stories that involve forced labor. Yeah, no, and I don't mean the horrors of real-life examples of this. I mean a male loser archetype being teleported into a video game world where he purchases women and doesn't necessarily use them, but it's very much implied that's the case. While this concept in full is nowhere near universal, many shows incorporate creepy elements such as this in an attempt to either satisfy the creator themselves by using a self-insert, or to satisfy, often male fans, who have been gradually lulled into a normalization of this concept. And, to be fair, shows that feature this are often criticized by parts of the Japanese public and the anime community, but they're still being made to this day, which tells me that there's definitely an audience for them. The reason I talk about this is to point out its ramifications. In other words, how exactly does this affect everyday life in Japan? Well, I have a couple anecdotes from my time in Japan that can hopefully help illustrate this. During my last few days in Japan, I was staying in Tokyo, specifically a couple blocks away from Akihabara, also known as Electric Town. While this place is genuinely pretty cool and has lots of good food and shops, it's other things that were a bit of a turn-off in terms of my enjoyment of the area. Billboards and signs often featured young-looking, scantily clad anime girls plastered everywhere, often mentioning new shows or advertising products. And while yes, this is not a unique concept in Japan, I promise I've been to Vegas, I've never seen anything quite like this. It's genuinely a one-of-a-kind thing. Continuing the story, I was looking for a Hunter x Hunter figurine I wanted in a gift for somebody else, so I went on Google Maps to try to find a store that sold it. I wandered around with a friend until we stumbled across one specific store. As we walked in, it was noted that the store we needed to go to was on the third story. So we got in the elevator, noticed the third story was blocked off. We figured we'd check out the second story just in case there was some glitch or it was mistyped or something. When those elevator doors opened, we were immediately blindsided by naked anime women everywhere, some even being underage.
In this vast, magical realm where glory and peril coexist, welcome to MU Dark Epoch. Choose your class, warrior, mage, or archer, and begin your epic adventure. Team up with friends or go solo to conquer the challenges that await. Challenge epic bosses, collect rare equipment, and forge your unique combat style. Idle gaming for intense battles.
Where are we right now? Dude, yeah, oh my fucking god, we should do.
Safe to say we didn't really stay long. This was not a one-time occurrence either. We'd frequently wander into stores and start climbing stairs to see where we'd end up, only to find ourselves in the back of the store with NSFW manga and other lewd images plastered all over the wall. Even figurines in regular shops that had storefronts facing the street often featured hypersexualized feminine characters on full display for everyone to see. Again, I'm not trying to be a prude, I'm a grown-ass adult, this doesn't really offend me. It's just how I know a lot of people might find this sort of thing weird and uncomfortable. I know that Akihabara isn't the sole representation of Japanese art and culture, but it's important to note that it's a center of nerd culture in Japan, and it's a good representation of anime and a decent chunk of Japan's art culture. The further ramifications of the normalization of this kind of sexualization of childlike concepts and a generally lax attitude towards sexualization in the first place show themselves in the laughably light punishment child offenders get in Japan, as well as a hush-hush culture involving offenses on people of all ages. Good examples of this include manga writer and artist Nobuhiro Watsuki, who, after being caught possessing underage material, was given a fine of $1,800. He was actually, at the time, currently writing a manga that had to be put on hiatus after his charges went public. Then, after he got caught and paid the fine, the manga resumed serialization, like nothing ever happened. Even if someone got off with a light punishment for such a crime basically anywhere else, there's no way in hell they'd ever see the light of day in that industry again. Similarly, the writer Tatsuya Matsuki was arrested and charged with 2 counts of indecent act on a female middle school student. He was given a sentence of 1.5 years, but it was instead suspended and he walked away a free man. Now, to be fair, his manga did not resume after this, but it still details how offenders often receive very light punishments for their actions. That's on top of the earlier mentioned cultural issues with calling out this kind of behavior publicly, so many cases like this probably go unreported or are thrown out privately in some way. Even if a punishment is given, it's often in terms of a civil case where a victim is awarded money for damages, but not a criminal case where the perpetrator actually received jail time for their actions.
Let's just finish the video, then I go.
Is Japan a really fun place to visit for most people? Oh yeah, 100%. I had an absolutely fantastic time while visiting, and I recommend it to basically anybody who's fortunate enough to go. And I guess in that sense, I should extend a huge thank you to my patrons and everybody who watched my videos, because the revenue I've acquired from running this channel actually helped pay for that trip, so every single one of you are basically a patron for this video. After hearing what you've heard today, would you actually move there? Given the frequently abusive work culture, low wages, difficulties of social integration, volatile economy, and over-sexualized media, well, I don't believe Japan is the only nation with issues like this. Again, let me make that very clear. The main reason I made this video is to help break the myth of Japanese exceptionalism and bring some people back down to reality regarding the place. Now, of course, there are exceptions to this rule. I've known of people who have moved to Japan and have been able to thrive just fine. However, I really believe those people are outliers, as I've heard many more stories of people feeling lonely, isolated, and generally depressed after moving there, especially coming from a hyper-social society like America, or even various parts of Europe. I know this video is very different from my usual content, but please let me know if you want more of this content by subscribing and letting me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe I'm wrong in any of my opinions, or do you think I understated some problems? I'd love to hear y'all's thoughts. But other than that, thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you guys later.
Alright guys, thank you for dropping by. I think I gotta do some things for my work. So, yeah. Thank you so much. And yeah, today I was very surprised to find out about Russia. Yeah. It's because I don't really watch or follow any VTubers ever since I started doing it myself, so I think I'll look into that, you know. I think that's just sad, man. Like, what happened with her and her fans. You know, of course I'm making it very clear, you know, I'm not here to be like that. You guys know I'm a freaking grown man in real life, and of course, you know, about the topic of capitalizing on other people's loneliness. You know, I admit the reason why I stream is because I'm freaking lonely myself. You know, I always go back to that story of having a TV inside my room back in high school, and I don't want anyone to go through that. So I wish none of you are. Yep. Anyway, I'm gonna do work stuff, so bye bye, thank you. I might open Warhammer while I do it on my laptop. Okay, bye bye. Thank you.